Hello everybody and welcome to a scrap mechanic tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my auto farm design that can both harvest, plant and water crops in a step-by-step video. At the end of the video I'll go over some questions people had on Reddit and also include a raid defense of the base with this farm active. If you're looking for specific parts of the video, I'm going to include some timestamp in the video description below. But before we begin, these are the parts that you will need to make this farm. A fitting amount of soil for the size of farm that you want to make, 12 bearings, 6 small wheels, 8 logic gates, 5 sensors, 2 controllers, 4 or more component kits, 18 pumps, 6 large chests, 30 corner vacuum pipes, and building blocks of your choice. Personally, I'm going to be using wood and stone for this build. The first thing you need to do is decide where to place the farm, and after that place the soil in rows of 6 such that they have one space in between them, like in the video. Once you have the soil in place, you need to build a max height aka 16 block pillar, which is 2 blocks away from the middle of your first row. On top of that pillar, build a platform that goes 3 blocks into the farm, and then another 21 blocks away from it, such that it will be 25 blocks long in total. At the end of it, build another pillar in the middle, and after that build a line going on top of the middle of the bridge, and then do the same for the other side. After you finish both sides, build a support at the edge of the bridge in the middle connecting to the ground. Do this on both sides and then remove the inner pillars that are connected to the ground. Complete the bridge and add the middle line on top of it. Now for the car, we're gonna start with a 15 by 5 rectangle and add 2 blocks out at both edges and in the middle. If you're unsure about where the middle is exactly, you should have 6 spaces between it and the edge. After that, raise the lift and add 6 blocks down from each of the sticks. Then again, go 2 blocks going forward. Raise the lift again and add 4 blocks going down. And finally, we need to add 7 blocks going out of each leg and take it off the lift. Now for the wheels, you need to count 1 block space below the legs and then place a wooden block. After that, place a bearing, another wooden block and another bearing. You need to do this for all of the legs. This is going to give us 2-way rotation using the controller. Finally, add the wheels. Now for the logic parts, we're gonna place the sensors, one in the front and the back exactly in the middle, and also on top, on the middle of each row of legs pointing up, for a total of 5 sensors. Put 1 logic gate on each of the front and back sensors, and then 1 logic gate next to each of the top sensors. Now place the controllers, one in the back, another in the front, and then place logic gates next to them. Next, take the car and place it on top of the bridge using the lift. Lower it down and release it into place carefully. Go down and connect the middle of each row of legs. I put 2 high in the front row for the switch and logic gate, which we are now going to place down. Connect the switch to its logic gate and change the logic gate to a NOR gate. Go up and change the front and back logic gates to a NOR gate as well, and then connect each part to its adjacent logic gate. Now connect the switch to the logic gates of the top pointing sensors and then to the logic gate of the forward controller. Now connect the logic gate of the switch to the logic gate of the backwards controller. Finally, connect the logic gates of the front sensor to the logic gate of the forward controller and the logic gate of the back sensor to the logic gate of the backwards controller. Connect the forward controller to the inner bearings of how many wheels it can support, from 2 up to 6 depending on the level of your controllers, and connect the backwards controller to the outer bearings of again how many wheels it can support. Set all bearings on both controllers to 180 to the red side, speed to the limit, turn on looping, and then make sure that the red arrows on the inner bearings are rotating forwards and the red arrows on the outer bearings are rotating backwards. Set the range of all sensors to 4 and then start making the bridge overhead such that it is 5 blocks above the top sensors and will not activate them. Build the overhead all the way to the other side and add the notches. To add the notches, make a pillar next to the middle of the first row and check where it connects with the overhead. Build a notch of 1 block going down in that place, and then continue it forward with 3 block spaces between each notch for as many rows as you have. In this video I only have 3 rows, so therefore I only need 3 notches. Now for the pumps, but before, make sure to build these blocks around the middle legs in order to prevent the car from flipping. The pumps are very heavy and therefore you should try and place them in alternating order of both sides, left and then right. Make sure you place the pumps on their side with 1 block space in between them, as shown in the video. As for the vacuum pipes, I recommend getting on top of the car, like in the video, and placing all of the backward facing pipes first, and then getting to the other pipes later. We will need to move the pillars 10 block backwards so it doesn't block the car, and we have space to access the chest in the future. Then, we're gonna add the other vacuum pipes so that we can group every 3 pumps to 1 chest. Finally, add the chests such that they connect to all the vacuum pipes and are facing downwards. Make sure to press E on all the pumps in the front row so they will have their arrow pointing upwards and thus will harvest the crops. Now connect the pumps to their corresponding top facings logic gates sensor. Make sure you connect to the logic gate of the sensor and not the sensor itself. Each leg should have its own sensor with its own pumps connected to it. Make sure you connect all the pumps to the logic gate. Now we just need to fill in the correct items and the farm is ready to go. Water goes in the back, seeds in the middle, and in the front row we'll be getting our crops when they're ready. While the farm is running, I want to answer some questions I got on Reddit. First one is why not use water cannons in the back row to water the crops? And the reason is because initially I wanted to have removable chests that I can then connect to another mechanism to fill them with the exact amount of water. But unfortunately this does bug out and makes you have to replace all the pumps. Hopefully this is a bug that will be fixed soon, but for now there is no real difference into making it with water cannons or pumps, and both are legitimate options. Personally, I like the pumps design because it unifies the whole build. Second question was, how do you get the resources for such a farm? And the simple answer is, this is no beginner's farm. You should start by making machines to help you collect more resources at the start, and only get to this farm once you really have the resources that it takes. Also, I was playing with some friends on a multiplayer server, which definitely does help on resource collecting early on. Another question was, can you use a sensor to detect when the crops grow, and then use it to harvest the farm automatically as soon as the crops grow? And technically, according to some posts on Reddit that have tested this should be possible, but personally I haven't added it into the design just because I feel like it's redundant. The way this farm works, it can collect so many crops in one day that having it on automatically continuously will just fill up your storage instantly, and you wouldn't really be able to hold all the items. So you would basically have to stop it going every 1 or 2 days anyway, and for that will make the whole idea of automatic sensor completely redundant when you still have to have a switch that turns it on and off. What about the raids? And for that, I might make a little guide on its own and how to build a little base for these farms and where is the best areas and such, but the quick TLDR is don't farm for too many days in a row, build in a corner next to water so you basically have less sites to defend, and also make sure you're planting early in the morning. Seeds, well, the usual seeds take less than a day to grow. If you're gonna be planting them at midday, that's gonna be 2 raids for 1 day worth of planting. But if you plant them right after 12 AM, which is when raids happen, you're gonna basically be able to get only 1 raid for 1 planting and have a much easier time defending. And now I got a raid for you where I had a full plant going, so 120 crops. I'm going to be playing it on 2x speed because the frames were too low while recording this. In this raid, I kinda wanted to show you that this space is defendable by 1 person without even using a spud gun. So here you can see I'm only using my hammer. It does mean that the bots get more damage on my walls, but none of them get through anyway. So that's it for this tutorial. If you would like to see more, make sure to let me know in the comments, and have a good day everybody.